Hello, I'm Eric.
And I'm Melissa.
And this is our 2014 Year in Review video.
Yeah. It's kind of been a big year, I think.
Yeah.
We went to, we had the Northwest Classic Gamers Swap Meet.
Started the year with
January. You went to Cowlitz.
Cowlitz in March.
In March. We had the PRGE.
Our second PRGE.
Yep, second. And this has been our first full year of YouTube.
Doing YouTube, yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a big year for us.
Right.
Got some big things. So.
Yeah. So let's talk about the hardware highlights.
Okay.
Some of the hardware that we picked up first. Obviously, this big green box, which I want to get out of the way. This, I think, was the only new console we got this year.
New as in never
new
had
as in
one
never
before.
had it before, right. Yeah. So we got our Xbox One in September. Very exciting. Enjoying playing with that. Back at, was this Cowlitz? Was I by myself when we did this?
Yeah.
I think this was Cowlitz.
Got
the HD DVD for the 360. Still haven't opened it. I just love this thing. We talked about that before. Still got this. Enjoying that on my shelf. Long-term desire for the collection has been the Super Game Boy. Don't have it boxed. It's just loose. I think I got the manual somewhere. But I'm fine. I mean, this is kind of a big deal for me because I've been waiting to get this for a while, and I never wanted to. The price was finally right, so I grabbed it. And then what did you get?
Oh yes, this is one of my favorites.
And mine too.
Little Game Boy Micro.
Game Boy Micro.
This is probably like the best garage sale find for my year.
Yeah,
you know?
and you got it, right?
So
still looking for faceplates for it.
Yeah,
but,
we still need to find faceplates.
It was dirt cheap. The adapter cost 3 times as much as the unit itself.
Yeah.
But it's been working great. I'm really glad to have it.
You're playing it.
So yeah. Yeah, thanks.
So, cool.
Cool. Glad to have that. So, as Melissa mentioned in one of my earlier videos, I have a spreadsheet. And spreadsheets, it turns out, are really good for making graphs and looking at trends and some other things. So I wanted to talk to you just a little bit about how the collection went in 2014. And I actually have my collection history from 1996 through 2014. And if you take a look at the graph here, you can see that 2014 was another big year. I acquired approximately 400, a little over 400 games, and that jumped my collection over the 1,500 mark. 2013 and 2014 have been very big years. In the prior decade, you can see that the trend had been pretty smooth. But
I mean, it almost seems like 2014 was almost twice as much as 2012.
Yeah, 2012 was when I just crossed the 1,000 mark.
Yeah.
And at the end of 2014, I'm at a little over 1,900. So it took me 16 years to get up to 1,000, and 2 years to get up to almost 2,000. Oh, so that's thanks to PRGE and thrifting and YouTube community that's really gotten me at least reinvigorated my interest, and then of course taught me some techniques for buying games much cheaper, so I can afford to buy more. You may notice that in 2000 there was a huge spike in the percentage change. That was my previous biggest year when I bought a number of new consoles and games on eBay. And the huge spike there is because basically the collection was so small. It was just on the order of maybe a little more than 100, and I got 100 new games that year.
That was that was because you were by yourself?
I was by myself, and I had my job for the full time.
A bunch of disposable income?
Yeah. So 2000 was a big spike, and my collection's kind of grown steadily since then. There was a dip in about 2008 when my first child was born. But then in the last 2 years, getting into the YouTube community really made up for it. The collection went up by 420 games is what I got this year, and that's a 28% increase in the size of my collection. The other two biggest were 2013 was a 48%, and then 2000 was a 62% increase. But anyway, so those are some of the numbers, I guess. But we also kind of wanted to talk about what excited us most in this year. So why don't you talk about what you enjoyed the most out of 2014?
I haven't had as much as you, but I got a couple things. One, we got the Wii U year before.
Yeah. Earlier this year though, we got
Yeah, but then earlier this year I got the Wii Fit meter. They had a deal where if you get the Wii Fit meter, you could download the
yeah, we got the game for free back in January of 2014.
So I haven't really used it, but I kind of think this is kind of cool, the little meter. Yeah. So, and of course, now that it's January and resolution time, I guess we'll try to start using it again.
Yeah, maybe we'll start using it again.
So, and then something we talked about in our December pickup video is this Toad. This is like my first game in, I don't know how long.
You actually asked for that for Christmas.
Yeah, I asked for this for Christmas and got my own game. So Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, and I've been playing it, and I'm like, oh, I want to play it all the time. I'm like, oh, I gotta feed my kids, so
Yeah, those kids keep needing to be fed. It's weird.
So yeah, it's kind of hard. I guess I'm not a very good gamer because it's like it's ramping up a little bit. So it's not like hard, but it's like annoying. But I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it's getting difficult. At least for us.
I'm enjoying it, and the kids love, and it's something that I can play like in front of the kids, and they love to watch it. So, so that's pretty much it. Yeah. Yeah. So what about you?
So I had in one of my earlier videos, I think the one from Cowlitz, I mentioned that I had a goal this year of maybe getting one new game for every system, is that what I said? One new game for every system that I own. And I actually accomplished that goal, I think, in October. And so what I thought I would do is go through all of my favorite pickups for each system I own and talk a little bit about them and what they've meant to me.
Notice how many are
Well, yeah. Sure. I think I have something like 30 unique systems or something like that. So it all started with, I've got these out of order. It all started with the acquisition of Spot Goes to Hollywood for the 32X. This is a prototype that was available at the Cowlitz Gamers Convention, Cowlitz Gamers for Kids swap meet. And I wasn't originally going to pick it up, but I went ahead and did it because I do enjoy the 32X, although it's not my intention to get a full collection. But I thought, well, this is probably the last year I'm ever going to get a new 32X game. So I thought I would try to get a game for every system I own. So that's what kicked that off. So I'm going to go through these in order of how many games I got for each system. And that's the only 32X game I got. So that's it. We'll start at the end and we'll move forward to the last game I'm going to show you is for the system I got the most games for. So kind of going through this in some order, I guess we'll stick with the Sega theme of Sega. I got Flashback for the Sega CD at PRGE back in October. I have this on cartridge. It's supposed to be a cartridge, a CD-ROM based game on a cartridge, and I always thought it was amusing that they did eventually put it on CD-ROM, so I thought I would check it out. What else have we got here? Let's see. Let's go with, I guess we'll move on to Game Boy Color. R-Type DX. Huge fan of R-Type. I've been wanting to get the Game Boy Color version of this game for a long time. I actually bought this twice at PRGE. The first time I bought it loose, and then I later found a complete copy, and I thought, well, I like R-Type enough to justify getting a complete copy. So had my eye on this for as long as I've known about this game, probably 15 years or more. And so I was really happy to get that finally for the Game Boy Color. Moving on, TurboGrafx, another. This is the only game I got for this system, TurboGrafx CD, Fighting Street. This is probably the first console-based CD game I had ever heard of. I heard about it in probably Video Games and Computer Entertainment magazine back in 1989 and found this at PRGE and was happy to add this to my collection, even though it's not considered that great a game. It's one that's been in my mind, or it's one I've been aware of for, what is it now? I'm going to get the math wrong. 25 years. Okay, and my favorite pickup of the one game per console systems is my beloved Sega Master System. This is the first new game I've added to my Sega Master System collection probably in 6 or 7 years. It is Dead Angle. I am striving to get a complete collection. I have a few left to get, including James Buster Douglas Boxing, which I may waive from that requirement because I can't spend that kind of money. But I have a handful full of Sega Master System games left that I'd like to get. But I got Dead Angle, so that adds one to the collection. All right, moving on. This is I got 2 games for the Sega Saturn, and my favorite of the 2, the other one is Grandia, the import version of Grandia, is Wipeout. I've been a fan of the Wipeout series ever since I got Wipeout XL for the PlayStation. When I saw that for the first time back in the mid-90s or late 90s, I couldn't believe how good it was, and I've been a fan ever since. Didn't have Wipeout for the PlayStation, but I finally grabbed the Saturn version, which is actually quite good. So I've been enjoying that. Okay, next system, ColecoVision. Got 2 games for the ColecoVision, and I decided to pick Turbo as my favorite. Not only because it's from Sega, but because I've known about this game for quite a while. I think I goofed up. In the 2 games I bought for the ColecoVision are Turbo and Slither, and I think they both require special controllers. I don't think I can play either one of them. I haven't tested them yet. But Turbo is my pick because I've known about it for far longer than Slither. Okay, Game Boy Advance. 3 games for the Game Boy Advance this year, and my favorite is Sword of Mana. Never played the game. I've actually never played any of the Mana games, even Secret of Mana for the Super Nintendo. But I enjoy Square Enix games, or Square games, and I've heard good things about the Mana series. I don't know exactly how this one fits into the Seiken Dentetsu series, but it's a Mana game, at least in the U.S., and it's in really good shape, so I was really happy to get that. And that makes it my favorite Game Boy Advance pickup of this year. Okay, Game Gear. 4 Game Gear games. None of them were all that thrilling. So I went ahead and grabbed Columns.
Columns is the best
Columns
one,
is the best one because Columns is a great game on the Genesis, and it seems to be a, what do you call it, an essential game on the Game Gear, and the other 3 were no better. So Columns is my favorite game for the Game Gear. And moving on to Intellivision. I got 5 Intellivision games this year, and I picked the wrong one. It's Demon Attack. I've got Dragonfire here. Anyway, Demon Attack is my favorite game. I really enjoyed that on the 2600, and so I thought I would grab it on the Intellivision, which is superior, slightly superior, and see how that fared. Moving on to the Atari, Adventure. I had played this game back in 1983 or 82, and I've wanted it ever since. Finally picked it up this year, and it's even got the label art. So I was glad to get that finally, Adventure, for the Atari 2600. And the Atari 5200, another 6 games I got, and my favorite was Robotron 2084. Classic arcade game, seems to play pretty well on the 5200. So yeah, my favorite 5200 pickup this year. Okay, moving on. The TurboGrafx 16. I also got 6 games for the Turbo this year. Very excited. A lot of good games there, but ultimately
that was a big pickup.
I picked Legendary Axe as my favorite TurboGrafx pickup. It would have been a toss-up between Blazing Lasers and Legendary Axe, but Blazing Lasers doesn't work.
Yeah.
Also got Dragon Spirit, which I'm really happy for, but this game, really glad to pick this up. I've wanted this ever since back in the day. Okay, moving on. PlayStation Portable. 7 games for the PlayStation Portable. Probably thanks to GameStop stopping selling them, or has stopped buying them back, and so I've been grabbing them. I got Maverick Hunter, Mega Man Maverick Hunter X. This is a remake of Mega Man X for the Super Nintendo. I feel like I got a very good price for this. I was surprised to see it there, and so it became my favorite pickup for the PSP. Moving on to Game Boy. Oh, this is a good one. 8 Game Boy games this year, and I've chosen Pokemon Special Pikachu Edition, or Pokemon Yellow. This is my favorite pickup of the year for a couple of reasons. One, it's my first Pokemon game, original Game Boy Pokemon game. I have Sapphire for the Game Boy Advance, but this is my first sort of real initial Pokemon game. It's also the first trade I ever did with someone in the community, someone in the YouTube community. I traded a NES game with Dr. Nintendo for this. So it'll always have a special place in my heart for those reasons.
And it was at the beginning of the year.
And it was at the beginning of the year. So it's my first Game Boy Pokemon game. It's my first trade with Dr. Nintendo or anyone. And so that's a special game for me. All right, Genesis. 9 games for the Genesis. Ghostbusters, my favorite pickup this year. I've known about this game ever since it came out, and I've always had it on my radar as something that I wanted. When I saw it complete in box at PRGE this year, I went ahead and grabbed it without a second thought. So that is my favorite Genesis pickup. Nintendo DS, 9 games this year. They were all pretty okay. I have ultimately decided that Kingdom Hearts 358 by 2 days was my favorite, mostly because I think it completes my Kingdom Hearts collection, at least the non-remakes, the original sort of games. So I decided I'd make this my favorite DS game. Haven't opened it yet. Haven't played many of any of the Kingdom Hearts games, but I am collecting them, and so this one completed it, so it became my favorite DS game. Dreamcast, 11 games. Sonic Adventure 2. Yeah. Sonic Adventure 2 is my favorite pickup for the Dreamcast. I've been wanting to get this game for years, ever since it came out. And I bought it at, was it Northwest Classic Gamers? I think it was at Northwest Classic Gamers Expo last January. Again, it's my favorite pickup because I've been coveting this game for over a decade. Nintendo 64, also 11 games. Picked up Yoshi's Story. This is a universal game case. I don't have it boxed, but I do have the game in the manual. I've been wanting this game for quite a while. My buddy of mine had it back in the day, and I always thought the art style was really interesting. And it's a Yoshi game, so I was glad to finally get that one. Super Nintendo 12, also not boxed. I think I only have the game for this one. Phalanx, it's a horizontal shooter. Love the shooters, love them on the NES. Have wanted this game ever since I became aware of it, so probably about 14 years. And I picked it up in a bundle in the middle of 2014. And so it's my favorite Super Nintendo pickup. Okay, Wii U, 14 Wii U games. And my favorite Wii U game is Super Mario 3D World. Love this game. Now,
yeah, that's a good one.
It's quite possible that because I didn't grow up on Mario, this might be old hat for some people, but this was really fun for me. And I haven't played through many of the old Marios, but I really enjoyed this one. And I enjoyed playing it with my daughters, which will always be what I think of when I play this game. So this is by far the game I've spent the most time with on the Wii U, and my favorite pickup of that this year. Oh, and Xbox One. 15 games for the Xbox One. So we've gotten 15. Now, 6, I forget what it is, 6 of them are free downloads. That came with Games for Gold and that were bundled with the system and stuff like that. So really we only got like 9 new ones. But my favorite is
I'm surprised you picked that one.
Halo. It's the one I've spent the most time with.
Yeah.
And it's one of the reasons, you know, I leaned toward getting an Xbox One before any other system. I'm a little disappointed in the game overall, but it's still
I know, we haven't even played any Rocket Ball.
Yeah, we haven't.
Bob's like all excited too, and we haven't played any Rocket Ball.
Well, next time we play, we can we'll turn on the Xbox and let it download and make dinner, and we'll play it after dinner. All right,
well, do it before you go to work.
Yeah.
And hopefully, by the time you get back, it'll be okay.
Yeah. All right, PlayStation, 20 games for the PlayStation, and I decided that Legend of Mana, another Mana game, is my favorite. I think I picked this up at the Northwest Classic Gamers Expo back in January of last year. Again, I think the Mana games have a good reputation. I enjoy Square games, and this was in really good shape, and I think I paid a pretty good price for it. So I'm very excited to add this to my collection of PlayStation games this year. Xbox, original Xbox, Burnout 2. Love the Burnout series, and I've been waiting to get Burnout 2 for a while. I like to see, I started with Burnout 3, but I like to see how games progress, so I always try to get the prequels if I can, or the earlier games. So this was easily my favorite. It's pretty good. You can see how the series is evolving. So this is definitely my favorite Xbox game of 2014. And GameCube. This one was a little bit harder to decide. I can't remember what two I was, I ultimately decided on Geist, because even though it's maybe not recognized as the greatest game, it's one that I wanted when it was released, and I never bought. I always was waiting for the price to go down, and eventually it just disappeared before I was willing to buy it. So when I saw this again complete, I grabbed it. So happy to finally have Geist in the collection. Moving on to the Wii. A recent pickup, Klonoa. I hear very good things about this game. I think I got a good price for it, so I'm very pleased to add this to my collection. It's not the PlayStation version, but it's of the stuff that I have been picking up a lot of. What do we get? 26 games for the Wii. This is my favorite because it's the one I'm most likely to try to play. All right, coming to the end, the Nintendo Entertainment System with 48 games.
Wow.
Favorite pickup. Oops, got these out of order. Let's switch it around. Sorry, after the Wii was the Nintendo 3DS with 29 games.
Oh.
And I picked Bravely Default. Again, big fan of Square. And this is someone described this as the best Final Fantasy game in recent memory, even though it's not technically a Final Fantasy game. It has a lot of that old school feel to it. So I still got this sealed. I'm not going to open it until I intend to play it, but I am looking forward to playing this soon. And it was easily my favorite 3DS game of 2014. Okay, moving on to PlayStation 3. You're going to see a trend here. Final Fantasy X and 10-2 HD Remaster. Really enjoyed Final Fantasy X. Haven't played 10-2. Probably will play it from this collection. As soon as this was announced, I knew I was going to get it. And it looks gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous on the PS3 in high def. So I did open this one right away to try it out. So
didn't you start 10-2? You started 10-2.
I did start 10-2 many years ago, and I didn't. We never finished it. But I'm looking forward to trying that one again. So 29 PS3 games and PS2, 32 PS2 games this year, and the favorite is Kingdom Hearts. I've since changed my mind. It's not probably regarding. It's probably revisited. Kingdom Hearts Revisiting, Chain of Memories. I had wanted to get this game at retail too, and it went to Greatest Hits before I could grab it. So I was really happy, and I didn't want to get to Greatest Hits. I was really happy when I found the original Black Label for less than the Greatest Hits. It was used, but it was still cheaper than a Greatest Hits version at I think it was a Northwest Classic Gamers. So really happy to add this to my collection. It's got the nice glossy cover art. So easily my favorite PlayStation 2 game of 2014. And then now finally moving to the NES, the second most purchased game system I got, and 48 games, and my favorite is Mighty Final Fight. Now this is my favorite because I got this in a big bundle, and I don't think the guy knew that this was in. He didn't know what he had, because the whole bundle costs less than what this cartridge goes for. I don't get myself too wrapped up in stuff like that, but it was a good price, and I know the game is a little bit harder to come by, and what the heck, it's Final Fight, it's a Capcom. Very happy to have this. It's definitely my, and it seems like it's a lot of fun too. I've played this, so definitely my favorite NES pickup of the 48 games I got this year. And finally, the system I bought the most games for this year was the Xbox 360. Some of those were download with Games with Gold and other stuff like that, but I did buy many disc-based games. And this may be somewhat anticlimactic, but my favorite game for that is Mirror's Edge. I've had my eye on this game for quite a long time. I thought that the price had spiked for a while, but it appears to be coming back down now. And so when I saw one that was in really good condition at GameStop, I went ahead and grabbed it.
You didn't get, I thought we looked, oh, didn't you get that after PRGE?
I got this after PRG.
Yeah,
I think I did. This was a buy two get one free deal.
Yeah.
So the price came down really nicely on this. I'm very excited to finally have this in my collection. I think this is going to be one of those games that, in retrospect, people are going to say didn't get enough attention paid to it when it was when it was launched. So that should be one of every.
Oh my goodness!
A game for one of every system that I have. And those are all my favorite pickups, and I think they're the best of 2014. And I completed my goal, so that was very nice too.
I'm excited.
So yeah. So anything else?
2015.
2015. Yeah. Should we want to make some predictions or some thoughts about 2015?
I think 2015 we're gonna cut back on spending.
Yeah, we say that all the time.
I know. And I think you're going to get more games on your wish list.
More quality, yeah.
More quality over quantity.
I think my focus for 2015 is going to be quality over quantity.
Yeah.
I've really bulked up my collection. As you saw earlier, we got, in the last 2 years,
we got 400
collections
games.
nearly doubled.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to start shooting for quality and spending a little bit more per game, trying to fill out the Master System, some turbo graphics. I don't know what else.
And maybe we'll do a little, get some better storage for our games.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of
we've got some ideas for what we're going to do for the game
for
room.
Storage,
so
yeah.
Hopefully we'll have something to show you guys.
Yeah.
But I'd like to say that I'm hoping that maybe by the end of 2015 we have a PlayStation 4. We'll see. I'm holding out. It was hard. It was hard over the holidays.
It was hard. Yeah, for you.
It was hard. So
he kept saying, "Oh, Best Buy has this," or you know.
A lot of good deals. Yeah, and it was really even frustrating with the Xbox One because there were some really good deals for the Xbox One. And
we pulled that trigger.
A little bit too soon.
Yeah.
But
that's why we're waiting on the PS4.
So we're gonna wait a little longer on the PS4. I want to see maybe an official price drop.
Yeah.
I don't know if that'll happen, but
is there like a big game you want for the PS4?
I'd like to maybe do The Last of Us remastered on the PS4, and I am interested in Watch Dogs, which I want to get on the PS4. And there's something else, Grand Theft Auto 5.
Okay.
Yeah, there's several.
Yeah.
There's several.
And it was hard for you not to buy, because there were some good deals on those games too, and it was kind of hard.
Yeah, I'm almost.
Have to do that.
I was this close to buying Infamous Second Son and a couple of the launch titles that are now $20.
Yeah.
Or we're on sale for 20 and under. Okay, so anyway, we'll see. We'll see what 2015 brings us. Hopefully, we'll get some really good quality stuff for the collection, and maybe for me a PS4. So, in the meantime, we've got a lot of games that we're going to enjoy playing.
Yes.
Certainly, we have a giant backlog, and we're trying to get through some of those.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah.
Hopefully, we'll play a little bit more this year. So. We hope you've been enjoying our videos.
Yeah.
So
and that reminds me. Yeah, I wanted to mention. This was our first full year doing YouTube, and we've grown a bit in our subscriber base. So I wanted to thank all of you who've subscribed and who watch us. We really appreciate it. It's really fun to do these videos, and we love getting comments from you guys.
Yeah.
So I love to engage with the people in the comment section. In fact, I write maybe too much, a little verbose in my writing, but yeah, engage with us. You can follow us on Twitter or
let us know what you think,
or comment, and let us know how your 2014 was and some of your favorite pickups
and
for your systems.
What maybe some goals for 2015.
Yeah. So thanks for watching. Thanks to all our subscribers, and have a good 2015.
Yeah. If you enjoyed the video, like us and subscribe.